Seems to be every year in the winter, I often think back of my time on this earth, all the little things that I've done, and thinking of my best memories, and I I struggle to find happy ones. I I really think that Christmas, no matter how beautiful you could make it, no matter how jolly everything has to be, it will forever be, in my eyes, one of the most saddening times in the year. I usually have these blips of when I really need to get something off my chest, and then maybe I could, forget about it the next day over. But when I see that snow fall down, I'm reminded of my loneliness and how I push people away. I I yearn. I yearn for love and affection, and I push that all away. I don't know why I do it. And I just want a reason for people to like me. And I don't know if there is. And I'm too afraid of getting close to someone to truly feel like they can be friends with me. And I often find myself looking for a best friend, but I can't say I've really had a best friend since fifth grade. I I've had like really close connections with people, but I've never had a best friend. It's it's almost like I I want to be close with someone, yet every chance I get, I just push them away, and I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I do it. It's not like I was burned so incredibly badly by someone. I just simply do it for no reason in particular. It's not like I should have trust issues. I should be very trusting, I would imagine. And it's in the wintertime that I am most lonesome. I'm always by myself in this time of the year. And despite me losing the people most important to me during the summer, it's always in the winter when I think about it most. I it's always thinking about the fact that I will never experience another Christmas with this person ever again. I will ever be a part of any family gathering with this person again. This used to be my favorite month of all time. It was the time I could see my cousin and my family and my grandma's all in the same month. And it was guaranteed. There was no, oh, that got canceled, or, you get to see him this one time because of a funeral or a wedding or something that brings family together. No, it was always a Christmas. Christmas always brought everyone together, and you can't come to Christmas if you're dead. So I it was an important time to me, but I don't know if it is anymore. If it's really a good time for me anymore. I I reflect on my favorite memories of Christmas time, and when I think of my two favorite moments, I think of two. One year, I was probably 8 years old. Every Christmas Eve, it was me going to my grandma's on my father's side, and every Christmas Eve we got together, and it was me, my mom, and my dad, my two cousins, my uncle and my aunt, and my grandma and grandpa. And we would always have an amazing time. This is really the time whenever I got gifts from people from my uncles, or from my uncle and my grandma. And I remember I got such amazing things like a golden bike, a like a little Star Wars droid. Got lots of Lego sets. I remember these. This was like 2014, like whenever Minecraft was giant, like when and they had these like Minecraft toys. And then but this one time, this one when I was 8 years old, I it was just a normal day, I arrived at grandma's. Sometimes we would go to the boring church afterwards. I'm not really religious, but this is kind of like when we had to go because grandma's religious, so we went anyway, and it was tradition. And afterwards, we set up we set down like our little presents that we wrapped for everyone, and we got done with church, and then we head home to my grandma's house, and sitting in the dining room is my grandma on my mom's side. and I just I was so unexpected by the whole thing, and I just I was so amazed. Like she made it to Christmas, and so I just run up to her and hug her, and it was just that was the best present I think I've gotten recently. I remember another time. My second favorite memory was during the big family gathering. So on my father's side, the family, I have like a bunch of aunts and uncles, and there's um, every we used to do this tradition where my grandpa would dress up as Santa and be like, he'd be like, ho ho ho, and just like kind of wave. We had a dedicated costume. He had like a sack, and he had like the fake beard because my grandpa always shaved clean. And I remember one year he was just like, I don't want to do it. And they had like the pillows and everything, you know, and I just jokingly say, I'll do it as like a probably 13-year-old. Wouldn't be surprised if I was 12. And everyone was like, okay. Like I was joking when I said that. But everyone else was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. And I started like waving him like Santa Claus. And then there's like a little like they do this little thing where I'm like sitting on a chair. It wasn't even like a cool chair. It was just like a regular foldable chair, and then I had people sit on my lap, and then I would ask them what they wish for Christmas. And my cousin, who is the same age as me, only a week older, he he's the next person to sit on my lap, and he was just. I mean, of course, he saw right through the disguise, but like he was just wanting to mess with me, and he was like pretending to be a little kid, and it was this really fun moment where I just had to pretend to be Santa Claus, and it was like it was like doing like a little bit, like we have to pretend like we don't really know what's going on. And for both those stories, both of those people that I've had such a great time with, those people that I've cherished, they're both not around anymore. And there's always that little sting that I just want to recollect with them. It's like, oh, remember that time? But I can't. I remember one time my mom told me after the words um, from that Christmas Eve, she said to me, Grandma, grandma was so happy. She was like the happiest she could have been. And it's kind of a shame itself that I can't really see it like that anymore. Like it's always gonna be ingrained as something tragic, not tragic, just sad for me. And it's just gonna be, it's just like difficult to hold on to those. I'm not saying that I would get rid of them, but I think if I didn't know about what happened afterwards, I would feel a lot better. And you know, there's always something about the snow, something about it that always makes me think about a relationship. And I don't know what's about it. It may just be because of this one movie I've seen. I think it'd be corny and stupid if I said what movie it was, but in that movie was my first exposure to what really being in a relationship was like, starting a relationship. And they went on a date like in the snow. And it's like this great scene, and I've always looked at the snow at that point onward as sort of a reminder that that could be me, but it's not. And that beauty of starting a relationship isn't happening here. You know, maybe it's something psychological. I mean, I often reflect and just stare at the rain. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but I just sit there for hours and hours staring at the rain. You know, I've always got a strange infatuation with falling weather. Like, I I feel like that the harder it falls, the more effective it is as a tool for me to think about my own reflections or my own memories. And it's I don't know why it does that. Why is it like that? But I don't know what else to add on to this. I'll I'll see you guys later.